Hello, everyone, and thank you so much for tuning in to Straight Talk with Dr. Sharmee Pratt. I am your host, Dr. Sharmee Pratt. In the studio with me today, I have Miss Jenny Beckford. Hello, Jenny. How are you?
Hi, Dr. Sharmee. I'm fine, thank you. Fine.
Well, great. Listen, everybody, we are going to be talking about such a needed topic. Jenny is in the coaching business to help teenagers, right? And we know that we are in a day and time where we can see so much going on, especially with our young teens. And so I thank God for Jenny. She's out there, she's helping our teens. She is putting in the work. And not only does she work with the teens, but she also work with their parents as well. And so today we are going to just jump in here and we're going to just hear all of what Jenny does and even how she got started and doing what she does. And so without further ado, Jenny, go ahead and introduce yourself. Tell the people who you are, what you do from your point of view, and we'll just go from there. Go ahead, Jenny.
All right, lovely. So, firstly, I'd like to say thank you very much, Dr. Sharmee, for having me on your podcast today. It's an honor. So, thank you for that. So my name is Jenny Beckford, and I specialize in youth transformation. So, I'm a certified teen coach practitioner, a speaker, and a proud mum of twin daughters who are going to be 25 in a few weeks. Now, what I actually do is I support teenagers and also partner with parents to help them to support and maintain, help their teens to achieve and maintain a positive mindset. So I solely support the teenagers with coaching, but I also provide parent coaching and parent programs that are run monthly to help the parents to also work on themselves and also to help them to connect with their teen. Now, the coaching that I provide the teenagers with, it helps them to achieve their goals, to help them to create a brighter future. And this is done by me delivering the high class coaching and producing high quality programs. So, this is going to give the teenagers an effective life map for personal success and to help them to facilitate positive life changes. And this is going to help them to really go right the way through their teenager years and excel into becoming adults as well. And it's really going to help them in terms of being able to connect more closely with their parents because sometimes there is a divide. So, yeah, that's a bit about me. I currently have over 20 years' experience of working with young people from different diverse backgrounds. I'm currently studying a master's in coaching psychology, and that's done so that I can add value to all of the families who come into contact with me. So, my vision for my organization, which I didn't mention, how can I forget? I am the founder of Greater Elevation, which is a life coaching company organization. And our vision is to be able to impact a million families within 10 years in 100 different countries. So either 10 years or less, that is the vision that I have for my organization. So yeah, that's a bit about me in a nutshell.
Wow, that is absolutely amazing, Jenny. Just to hear just what you're doing and how you're doing it and how you are really connecting with our teenagers out there is really, I don't even have the word. It is fabulous. One of the things that I want you to just share, where actually are you from? Because you left that part out. So let the people know, where are you from? Where are we talking to you from?
Okay, so I'm from London, UK, United Kingdom. Yeah, that's where I'm from. And it's just the opportunity to be able to tap in to, global spaces by using the
Mhm.
technology. And that's how my organization started up. It's all being delivered virtually. I deliver coaching virtually. I'm currently supporting young people in Jamaica. And that just goes to show, the power of technology and how you can continue to make that impact. So yeah, I'm here in London, in cold London.
Listen, I love it because, as you said, making an impact to those around the world because we understand that our teenagers, they need impact made in their lives, especially so
Mm.
many coming up. They feel alone. They feel like, they're trying to find themselves, and many of them out there are in a space or a place where they don't even understand who they are. So I love your concept on helping them to even find out who they are in the world and that they matter. So that's a beautiful thing. Now, one of the things I would like to ask you, what started you on this particular journey?
Okay, so what started me on this journey was with looking at myself. So, sort of just take you back a bit. About 3 years ago, I got into a space where I was just emotionally in emotional disrepair. I'd entered into a relationship that I shouldn't have had any business of entering into. And that caused a real big sort of negative impact on me. I mean, prior to that, I've always had a passion for supporting young people, always, always. But what I discovered when I was going through that emotional turmoil at the time is that I actually needed to kind of get a grip and work on myself. So I'm a woman of faith. I prayed and kind of connected back with God, and then decided that, right, it's now time that I need to tap into somebody that's going to help me to really elevate all areas of my life. So I did a little prayer, and I think within a matter of hours, I was on Instagram and I came across a life coach by the name of Laura Lyles. Now, I saw her online and really liked what she stood for. So kept logging in on Instagram to listen to her lives, kept interacting with her live. And then she decided that she was going to throw an event. Now, this was a big woman empowerment event. I think at the time she was just kind of she was really going through her journey as a coach, but has already been making an impact. I attended the empowerment event with the insight to say to myself that I'm going to sign up to her life coaching academy, which is called House of Her, which is House of Healing. So we were in the crowd. Myself and my good friend were sitting at the back row, and all of a sudden we heard somebody say, "Miss Slimmers, is there Miss Slimmers here?" So that jokingly was my Instagram handle at the time. And my friend said, "I'm sure that's you." So I put my hand up. She said, "Right, come to the front." Went to the front. She said, "I'd like to present you with a book from, I think it was from Ivana Van Sant, entitled Trust." And she said, "I've been seeing you show up on Instagram and you're really leaving a positive impact. And I haven't been able to get my mind off you. So I want to give you this book." And I was like, wow, is this a sign? And that very night, I signed up for her academy of coaching. And I decided for the next 2 years, I am actually going to work on myself internally. And every program that the coach had put out, I don't know where the money showed up, but it did. I purchased every program that she had and really went to town on working on myself internally. So the first year, I was able to let go of forgiveness, be able to forgive my ex-partner and get connected with my mother more closely. And then the second year we embarked on me going into her leadership academy, and that's when I knew what my purpose was, to start up this coaching business. And I remember being in church at the time, I think it was New Year's Eve, and I was sat there and I just heard a voice saying, "Your organization is going to be called Greater Elevation." And I'm like, really? And that's how my organization came about. I didn't have a penny to start this business. I had literally my laptop and what tools that I picked up in terms of having a coach. And after being with my coach for 2 years, I then started to invest in coaches in every area of my life, health, finances, business, you name it, and used all those tools and resources and was able to build back up my confidence and get to a place emotionally strong where I now could help reach out to support the teenagers, and then decided I'm going to help parents as well. So that's how it's all come about, where I am today.
That's great. Now, you were saying so many wonderful things right there. One of the things I want to ask you is, now we have people all over the world that will be tuning in and listening to this podcast, but many people may have found themselves in the same predicament or similar space that you were in. would you tell someone who may feel as if they are in a place where they're stuck, they cannot move? What would you say to them?
I would say to anybody in that position is get support, get support of some kind. And it could just be reaching out to, if you don't have the capacity to perhaps invest in a coach at that appointed time, you have to kind of start to get to a place where you can attract your tribe, but you need to kind of work on yourself first. So you could go the route of, YouTube has amazing videos, motivational videos, but it's always good to kind of tap into having somebody else on your journey. And I call that as having like a buddy or accountability partner who is going to be on the same journey as you, and is going to help, you're going to hold you accountable for you to do the things that you say that you wanted to do. So for me, in my instance, as I said, I started off and I was so happen to be able to tap into a coach. But with technology, there's so much things out there. There's books, there's videos. You really need to kind of get to a point where you kind of flooding your mind with, sounds crazy, of things that are positive. So you need to be making sure that you're looking at what you're feeding your mind with, but don't do it alone. You need to get support of some kind to start to help you to build up. Because for me, I wasn't confident. So my coach turned around and said, borrow my belief until you can find the belief of your own. And that's the message that I pass on to all of the teenagers and all of the parents that I come into contact with if they're experiencing that low confidence and low self esteem.
Oh wow, that's good. That is really good because you talked about the low confidence and the low self-esteem that many people may be feeling out there. And so since that's something that I know that you deal with, how if people find themselves in those spaces where they don't feel confident? I know you shared, well, go look at a motivational, video or something to help boost you up. But the what would you say to those individuals that say, well, you know what, Jenny, I've done that, but I still find myself in times and spaces where it just feels like I can't move forward or I can't push myself. What would you say to those individuals, Jenny?
So for those individuals, and that's a good point that you've made, Doctor, because sometimes, watching the videos is sometimes not enough. And I think if it was for me in the beginning, that would not be enough. You would need to definitely find a support network. Okay, so there's ample places. I don't know. Some people will turn to church. Some people, if you maybe going through things where you don't want to leave home, there's virtual networks you can tap into, and they're not always costly. They're free of charge. You just need to get into a space of a group of some kind, where there's more than one person, so you can have make friends with another person, that's fine, but get support. Get into some kind of support system, a community, because I forgot to add, and I don't know how I forgot this, that when I started my journey and I received coaching, I was in a community. There was a group of us. We were actually getting access to group coaching. Um, and that made a difference in terms of, if you're having a down day, you've got somebody to say, come on, Jenny, I believe in you, let's pick this up. So not only did I have access to my coach, I had access to a community. So community, as I said, could be church, it could be, I don't know, a club that you go to. It's, you need to actually have a community, because you're going to get days when you dip, and sometimes motivational videos are not enough. For me in the beginning, that would not be enough. From the place where I was, I would need community. So definitely try and tap into some form of community of some sort.
Okay. Yeah, that's good. I love that. I love how you told them to tap into some type of community because you talked about accountability, Jenny. And, we both know how great and how good accountability is for us as individuals, right? One of the things that I want to ask you when you're looking for accountability partner or somebody to be accountable to, what are some things that you believe a person should look for?
Okay, so what I would say you should look for is you want to look for somebody who's not going to tell you just the things that you want to hear. So you need to look for somebody that's going to be really solid, and that's sometimes going to push always going to push you out of your comfort zone. That's number one. Number two, it has to be somebody that's real with you, that's truthful, that's not going to buy into your story. So let's just say today I said, let's just say, for example, and this would never happen, oh, I don't want to go into the podcast today because I'm feeling nervous or what have you. I should be able to call one of my accountability partners, if not my coach or accountability partner, and say, this is how I'm feeling. Now, the accountability partner's job is to talk me out of my story and say, no, we're not going to do this, Jenny. You are going to go to this podcast because I believe in you. You can do this. Right. So it's kind of getting somebody that can talk you up. Even when you don't have the confidence to talk yourself up, is having somebody to hold you accountable to say that if you said by next week Friday I'm going to speak to 5 different organizations, you would clock in on the Friday and they will say, right, Jenny, what's happening with those organizations? So somebody just going to hold you to make sure that your word is your bond. Because when we try to do things ourselves, if you're not self-disciplined enough, you're usually not going to stick to it. So you need to have. I've got so many different accountability partners that even if I wanted to give up, I wouldn't be able to. They'd find me. They'd find me. So it's really just having that person to touch base with. I mean, I go one level further. My accountability partners, we have each other's schedules. Yeah, we use what we call Asana, which is an online thing. They can see what I'm doing. I can see what they're doing. There's no hiding here. So you need to kind of get firm people that are going to hold you accountable and that you're going to be able to stand the space for them for when they go down, because it does happen. So that's what you need to be looking for.
That's good. That's real good. I even love the fact that it's like we can't hide from each other. I love that.
No way.
You like no, we can't have. We even know each other's schedule and
Yeah, right now they know I'm on the podcast. They're waiting for me to say, Jenny, how did the podcast go? There's no hiding here.
see, I love that concept. Now, see, that is great accountability right there. Do you hear me? I love that. And so, one of the things that I would like to talk about now is your teens. Like, when you're looking or you're going after teens, are you just going after any teens? Is there a specific group of teens? Like, where's your mind space when it comes to, what you do concerning the teenagers?
Okay, so in terms of teens, because usually what I do, uh, there's all different ways of this because I'm in a space where I want to support all teens as much as possible.
Mm-hmm.
However, sometimes with some parents, they look at it that sometimes their teen is not of a teen that's troubled. But I always say to parents, it's not about your teen being troubled that why they need a teen coach. Sometimes your teen should be given that advantage. So I'll give you an example. I have twin girls. As I said, they're going to be 25. When they were the age of 16, in the UK, they do what we call GCSEs in high school. Now, they were very good at their grades. They were not slipping. But for me, I wanted to give them an added advantage. I decided that I'm going to pay for them to have a tutor. So that's just given them that added advantage to enhance whatever it is that they're doing. So I'm looking at teens, not only troubled teens or teens that have low self esteem or, you know, ha- have low aspirations. I will target teens that may be doing okay, but I always say there's always room for improvement because a lot of teens, majority of teens that I come into connection with, it's a bit of both. Some are troubled, some are doing okay, but then there's that little element of their mindset, and that's something that sometimes you have a team that's doing really really good, but then their mindset in certain things are not at that level. So I will take any teams, honestly, and usually I have conversations with the parents first to go through what goals we feel that we need to start to look at and what are the challenges that they may be having, and if they're not having challenges, that's fantastic. What can we do to help them, to enhance them, to take them right the way through their teenage years?
I love that. And let me say something that I truly love, the fact that you said even if your teen is not having issues or they're not in a space where they're doing bad or having, just traumatic things taking place, we always should be in a position where we're willing to give them another advantage to help them to grow and move forward. And so many times, I don't believe that people really understand that concept, that you don't have to always be in a space where you're doing bad in order to get the help. But we have to be a people that even when we're doing good or we think we're on top of our game, it's always about furthering ourselves and what we know
Mm,
or how can we advance. And a lot of times many people don't understand that. And so when we feel like, okay, well, I don't need it because I'm not doing this, or I don't need this because I don't do that. But I love how you said that we want to even look forward to giving them at another advantage in life where they may go forward. And so I love exactly what you're doing, even how you're doing it. Can you take us into, without giving it all away, but take us into a coaching session with Jenny, if you don't mind? Like, just a little bit of to help people to understand what you do for real, how you're doing it, because some people don't even know what a teen coach practitioner is, right? And so they're like, okay, what is that? What is she talking about? So, what would a coaching session look like with you as a teenager?
okay, so prior to them starting the coaching session with me, I would have had a consultation with the parent firstly, initially. And then, if the parent decides that they want to enroll their teen into the coaching program, I then have what we call a teen meet and greet. So I will meet the teen, it's usually virtually for convenience for the teens. I will meet them virtually on a one-to-one basis, myself and the teen, for 60 minutes. So that teen and meet greet is for them to meet me, for me to meet them, and kind of ease them into the first session because all teams are different. So that initial first session, based on what mum or dad has said about goals, I will say, right, based on I've spoken to your mum and dad today, and these are the goals that they want to look at for you. What is your thoughts on that? So I want to hear from the teen. Now, one thing I would say, Dr. Sharmee, is it depends on the teens, because some parents will say, my teen doesn't really open up, they don't really talk. So depending on the background of the teen, if this was a teen that doesn't really engage, I wouldn't go into that talking about the goals straight away. I will build up some rapport. Hi, Jason, how you doing today? My name's Jenny. How you doing? You okay? What have you been up to today? We're kind of going to meet them where they're at. So they might want to talk about football. I don't know, whatever they've been doing for the day. So I'm going to keep the conversation flowing. And I have the technique where I kind of edge it in a bit and say, do you know what I do? Has mum and dad spoken to you? Because initially parents are supposed to kind of speak to them about what coaching is. And then we kind of take it from there. So at the moment, it's a bit hard to sort of say for the first session. It kind of depends on. I would have the background of the teen. If the parent says, "Oh, Sarah is very outgoing. She loves to chat," that's a winner for me. We can go straight in. We can talk about the goals, and we can talk about, are these goals what you want, or is it that mum and dad have set it? What is it that you want? Because sometimes mum and dad say this is what we want, and the teen might say, actually, no, this is what I want. So it's just really kind of getting that sort of engagement and finding out, depending on the teen, how do we start off the first initial session. So once that session is out of the way, we will be meeting weekly, and my package is for the teens. I'm currently at the moment rolling out a 3-month package, and I'm doing currently one-to-one programs at the moment. I'm going to be moving into a group model soon because I'm near getting capped now, where I'm really getting busy. But the difference about this coaching is that the teen gets the support, but the parent does as well. But the parent needs to know that we all have to be on the same kind of team. So this is why I give the support to the parent as well, because I don't want me to be coaching the teen and then going back into that environment with their parents where their mindset may not match to where the teens has, where I've been working on them with techniques and strategies. So that's how it kind of goes. It just depends. There's no one size fits all for the beginning.
Hmm.
Once we assess and we look at where the team is coming from, I've got other tools that I use, sort of like the wheel of life, and we can look at different areas of their life as well. So yeah, that's it in the nutshell.
That's good. I love that. Now, we talked about what coaching is and how you go about doing that. Can you give us briefly what coaching is not?
Okay, so here's the thing. It's funny because a lot of people, when they speak to me, and I've had a few people say, "Do you offer? Are you a counselor?" And I'm like, "No, coaching is not counseling."
Hmm.
Okay, so I'm just going to kind of take you through basically what it is, because I get this. Sometimes I have to say to parents, "I'm not here to coach your child. I'm here to. I'm not here to, sorry, counsel your child. I'm here to provide coaching." So I'm going to just give you the difference of the two, and I'm going to use that as an example. So I'm going to use coaching versus therapy, stroke counseling. Now, coaching, it differs from therapy and counseling. Coaching does not focus on the past or offer a diagnosis. In life coaching, what it is that the coach works with the client to create a deeper awareness and design actions for the client in terms of their goals, goal setting, and maybe looking at habits and really moving forward in life. So that is a difference. With obviously with counselling, we're looking at the past, we're offering a diagnosis. Coaching is going to give the young person tools and strategies to be able to move forward. Okay, so goal setting, we're looking at goal setting the future. We're looking at helping them remove their limiting beliefs, and limiting beliefs are where the teen actually sees themselves in a negative light. And we have, what I do is kind of help them to almost like reset their mind to look at it in more of a positive light, and look at themselves in seeing themselves as more of a positive person. If they're always having, for example, negative self-talk about themselves, my job as a coach is to kind of get them out of that place using various techniques and strategies to help them to move forward. So it's all about moving forward, forward, forward. And a lot of the time, everybody has a past, and the past does come into it. And I say, right, okay, so that happened. All right, let's rewrite a new story. So I'm more solution focused. You can come with the problem to the coaching session. That's great, Daniel. I'm sorry that's happened. Let's help you rewrite a new story. So it's all about moving forward. Coaching is about moving forward.
That's good. Yes, ma'am. That's really good. Now, as we're about to wrap this up, can you give us at least three strategies to take away from this particular talk we had?
Okay, so obviously we're focusing on the teens. Okay, so three strategies I would say in terms of helping the teens to kind of start to move forward. The first thing would be is to get them to encourage them to use gratitude, to be able to be thankful for what they have. At the moment where we have this influx of social media and the technology, and the teens want this, they want that. I have a strategy where I get them to start to compile a list of writing at least three things that they're grateful for. And then I start to up it. I'm quite a coach that will push and say, right, I want you to write 100 things. Yeah, but that's in time. So first thing will be to start to write a gratitude list every morning. You can start off with three things that you're grateful for. Second thing I would say is start to rewrite a new story by using what we call affirmations. Now, affirmations are I am statements, I am confident. Now, I just want to make a note of this, that affirmations are good, but in some respects, if a young person has a lot of internal things happening, we may need to kind of put that to one side to kind of help them to be able to reprogram their mind to look at that. So I would say first thing would be gratitude. Once they're in a space where they can take the affirmations, start to write affirmations on post-it notes and stick them around your house and start to look at them every day. That's the first thing. The number three thing I would say is start to script out a new story. And what that is that I get the teens, for example, if a teen has I don't know, an exam that they're nervous about, In the morning before the exam, I get them to write a story. Today, I've attended the exam and I'm going to do amazing. So it's kind of scripting out a positive start to the day, and for them to take that with them throughout the day. And a lot of them say, "Oh, I don't really believe that. I don't have the belief in that." It's fine. Borrow my belief. This is what you're going to do. So get them to kind of script out in a journal. It's a bit like journaling, but it's writing a new story of how you want your day to be. So those are the three strategies I would leave you with.
Oh my God, those are some great strategies. Look, not only for teens, but grown people. Oh my goodness. Those are wonderful strategies. All right. So, as we're ending out, can you tell the people how can they get in touch with you? People all over the world, even we may have some teenagers, some young adults, and to listen in, and they like, oh, I want to know who she is, where she's at. How can I get in touch? I want my team to just even just try the strategies that she named. How can people reach out to Jenny?
Okay, so I am on a couple of platforms. So I'll start with Instagram. On Instagram, you can find me under the my organization name of Greater Elevation. That's Greater. Elevation, as in elevate, Elevation. So I'm on Greater Elevation. I'm also on Facebook under the name of simply Jenny Beckford. So Jenny, B for boy, Eckford, Jenny Beckford. Now, just to note before we finish up, Doctor, on Facebook, I have a Facebook community for parents of teenagers where you can tap into free strategies and techniques and trainings for myself free of charge in my Facebook group. My Facebook group is called Elevating Parents to Elevate Teens. So you can, find me on there. And for parents as well, I have monthly, free of charge, 7-day parent challenges every month, virtually every month. So look me up on the Facebook, the parents, in terms of the parent program and community that I have there. Young people, you can look me up on Facebook as well, Jenny Beckford, and also on Greater Elevation on Instagram.
Wow. Well, listen, it has been such a joy speaking with you today. And I know that those that listen to this podcast, they are going to truly be but just blessed by your presence and especially what you're doing in this hour. Because guess what? It is definitely needed. Wow. And so, anyway, thank you, Jenny, for joining us for Straight Talk with Dr. Sharmee. It has been such an honor to have you on this podcast. And to everyone else out there, thank you so much for tuning in to Straight Talk with Dr. Sharmee Pratt. We'll see you next time.